Hello and welcome to the Daily Mill for Wednesday, 15th of March 2023. In today's Mill News, we're going to start off with some more post-match comments from yesterday's match. And this one's from the southernnews.co.uk. Mill manager backs Charlie Cresswell to keep his place after bagging 5th goal of the season. But was it his goal? More on that next story. There are just 3 players at the club who have scored more league goals than the 20-year-old defender this season. Rowett has backed Charlie Cresswell to keep his place in Mill's defence after putting in a string of consistent performances since coming to the team. The centre-back scored his 5th goal of the season in yesterday's 2-1 win against Swansea City, helping the Lions to move up to 5th in the table ahead of tonight's championship fixtures. It is the latest in a long line of impressive showings, having won News at Den's Player of the Month for February and result. It hasn't been easy for Cresswell, who struggled when he first arrived at the Den and soon fell out of the team and eventually the squad. He was linked with a January move away from the club, but decided that he wanted to win back his place, which is exactly what he did. The 20-year-old came in to replace the injured Shaun Hutchinson at the start of last month, and has since become one of Mill's top performers, keeping the club captain out of the team for a number of weeks. Rowett shared his admiration for the skipper, but added that Cresswell deserves to keep his place for the time being. "I think he's been excellent," Rowett said after last night's game. "To keep Archie out of the team when he's been back a bit, he's done it because he's worked so hard. I spoke to Archie the other day. I think he's been a hugely important player for us as a captain, for the team and for the club. Sometimes you have to be fair to the players. It's not just about winning games, it's about being fair to people. If they're playing well, they deserve to stay in the team. That's what keeping the shirt is all about. Cressy's done that. He's got a knack of finding the right moment. We've seen that in a lot of defenders. Butchie did it in the first season here and finished on 6. I think Muzza did last year had about 4 or 5. Cooper's been pretty consistent. Scotty, I think, had 6. Cresswell was on 5. That's another a lovely little knack to have. You need those goals to break the deadlock in a game like that. Sometimes you can be playing badly, score a goal out of nothing, and it changes the whole game. Yes, indeed. But again, was that his goal? Well, turns out it wasn't. So this is tweet from Alex Grace, but it's all over the place. It's Millwall put it out. It's in all the match reports now. They changed it. So I believe what I think happens is the press association or whoever does the live scores put it down as a Cresswell goal. And I think the referee's report must have said Tom Bradshaw scored it. Because I think it's probably too quick for the dubious goals panel, or whoever they are, to have corrected it. I think they only go like once a week. Maybe it was them, but I think maybe it was in the referee's report. So because you saw Bradshaw running off to celebrate, and then Cresswell runs off as well. I think maybe the referee just gave it to Bradshaw. But yeah. So Tom Bradshaw has been credited with the first goal in yesterday's win over Swansea. The Millwall striker now has 14 goals this season. There you go. Settled. Now, moving on to this from southernnews.co.uk. Millwall boss delighted to see striker called up to Wales squad, but important point is raised ahead of championship running. Gary Rowett will be determined to keep Tom Bradshaw fit after scoring 13 goals in just 32. Well, you have to correct that now, don't you? 14 goals in just 32 games so far this season. Gary Rowett is pleased to see Tom Bradshaw rewarded for his hard work with the call up to the Wales national team, but highlighted the fact that he will not have a break until the end of the championship campaign. The striker was included in Rob Page's squad after a scintillating start of the year, winning the Sky Bet Championship Player of the Month in February after scoring 5 goals in 7 games. However, he has played through a number of knocks in the last few weeks as the only out-and-out centre forward at the club, and he will now have to keep playing through until the end of the season, while most of his teammates will be given time off during the international break. While Rowett admitted that is far from ideal, he stressed that the overwhelming sentiment is out of pride that the Lions have had another player called up to represent their national team. Indeed, I think it's a hard one because ideally you want him to have a little bit of a breather, but I don't think you can take that away from Bradders, he said after yesterday's win. Selfishly, I'm hoping that he goes, he really enjoys it, and maybe he comes on for 10 minutes at the end of each game. He does deserve it. The thing with Bradders is that he gives you so much on the pitch, and his goal scoring has been there for everyone to see. He actually gives you a lot off the pitch. He's such a bubbly guy, very positive. He's great to have around the place. For a Welsh squad, he can offer real good value either way. Hopefully he comes back in one piece, that's the main thing. We might have a few. It shows the form of the team. It wouldn't surprise me if we get quite a few go away. Young Rom has been involved in the England squad. Cressy's been involved in England under 21 squads. Danny's been very close to the Republic of Ireland squad. We've got others around like Sav and Bradshaw. It shows how far we've come as a team and as a club. People getting the recognition. Sometimes as a manager, you'd rather them have a break and be right for their next game after Huddersfield. Okay. So he's talking about Romain Esse being involved in the England squad. I'm assuming, but that's under 18s. Is that in the past or is that coming up? And obviously Cresswell was in the under 21s, and Danny in well, he wants to be in the Republic Island squad, and I think he revealed in the interview, Danny Mack, that he had been on standby, and he's quite happy to do that. A lot of players would be would not really do that, but if you book holidays and stuff during the summer, and then you get the call, like, yeah, and you've got to like piss off your missus and stuff like that. But hey, it is what it is. So yeah, and we wait to see. Idomu Maku, is he going to be involved in the Ireland under 21 squad? So we could have a few away this week. So there you go. But it is a point that a lot of people made. Tom Bradshaw basically our only striker, or only, what would you call it? Forward, point forward. I don't know what they call it now. Centre forward. If we lose him, we're probably kind of screwed, because then what do you do? What do you do? Do you bring Tom Leahy from the under 21s? Do you get someone else to play up there? And they're not going to be quite as good. But hey, you have to change the system. I don't know, but here's the thing: he could get injured in the next game. He could get injured in training before the next game. He could have already been injured by the time you're reading this. You never know; it could happen at any time. So like that, you can't really think like that. It's kind of negativity manifests itself. Just be positive and just crack on. And even if bad things happen, just keep positive. So, talking of the game at the weekend on Saturday, the 18th, against Huddersfield at home, there's a travel update. Of course, that is strike day. Some train people, I don't know which ones are on strike. Some are, some aren't. I think the Signal people have agreed to deal. It's just the RMT now, of course, who are refusing to deal. So yeah, this is from millfc.co.uk. They're helpfully letting you know about the situation. No services will run to South Bermondsey on Saturday. Matchgoers are strongly advised to check their journeys before leaving. Nearby stations include Surrey Quays and London Bridge, from which the Jubilee line will be available to travel to Bermondsey, a 20-minute walk to the Den. The strike action may mean that some of these stations are out of action, so please check your journey as soon as possible. Then they list the various bus routes that come close to the Den. So there you go. You're on your way to that one, be aware. Now, also from millfc.co.uk, Mill hiring group bookings and stadium tour coordinator. So they've been doing these stadium tours, quite popular, pretty good, selling out, and they put up this thing about doing deals for group bookings, basically giving cash back to organisations that encourage their members or whatever, their pupils or whatever, to buy a Millwall ticket, and then they'll get to go to Millwall as a group, and then the club or the school would get paid by Millwall for doing that. So I don't know if that's been positive or it may have been because they're hiring a role to fulfill the needs of that. So maybe it is doing well. Millwall Football Club is hiring a group bookings and stadium tour coordinator. Or maybe it's for the tourists that a lot of people are moaning about as well. I think Mill did partner up with a company to do that. Champions Travel there, the one on the right hand side. So they have partnered up with a kind of a state agency, not a state agency, what do you call it? Travel agency, to bring in groups of tourists from abroad to see Mill games, and you saw how popular it was. It must be working because we've bloody got the FIFA president down there, Gianni Infantino. So there you go. They are looking for someone. Closing date for applications Friday 24th of March. There you go. I don't know. It's kind of an office job, I guess. I haven't clicked on that link. There's a job description if you click on that thing, but I'm not going to do it because I'm going to move on and talk about yesterday's game. Stats form. Quite a weird game. Playing against Swansea with their keep ball. Stay away, stay away. And you can see that in the stats. We're going to look at that now. So as you can see, absolutely turgid first half. This is the expected goals from experimental361.com. They are back. The guys have been putting them up very late, so I can bring them in time in the videos as they usually did. Now, weirdly here, they have given the goal that they scored a very high XG because they've classed it as a shot from the geezer who it hit and went in. Even though he literally had no idea about it, but I'm guessing it's just a situation that if someone stood on the edge of the 6-yard box and someone pings a ball in and it hits them and then goes towards the goal, that would be a high XG. So he really did not. That really was not deliberate. So yeah, you can see here we didn't have our first shot on goal until the 16th minute. They had one 7th minute, and they actually had pretty even in terms of Mill's chances. We tried to get a goal at the end of the first half, didn't work. We come out second half, boom, fine, get that goal. You can see the second circle is Vogelsammer's chance, and that's very low because when you shoot a sideways shot at the goalkeeper, you're probably expected to save it, and that keeper's been getting a lot of stick, but hey, and then you can see we have another couple of chances after that. It's pretty much just trying to defend. So there you go, but classic giant staircase there, where it goes along, it goes up, it goes along, it goes up. Pretty big staircase. And then you can see Swansea just resorted to pot shots and stuff from far away, but we did manage to try and keep them out after that first goal. You can see their flat line from around 64 to about 70 or about 80. We did prevent them from having a shot on our goal, which is good. So let's move on to this from infogoal.net. And there you can see Tom Bradshaw has been given that goal. More proof, if it were. So this is the shot map, and as we go down, you can see they're all pretty sparse. Most of the shots coming in from the middle. There's one there on the 6-yard box. That was Cresswell 78. But there you go. If we go down, you can see Swansea had a hell of a lot more shots. A lot more inside the area, and a lot more outside the area, especially. They're resorting to long shots. They have these 3 clusters here. All on the 58th minute. That was the goalmouth scramble that I believe led to, yeah. So Jules Long making save after save after save. Cresswell gets on it, kicks it out to over here somewhere out. They pass it forward, and then that guy shoots it comes off the guy and goes in. So that's what that's about. So it looks worse than it was, but so they give this website gives the XG is 0.57 to Millwall and 1.90 to Swansea. Go back here. If you look here, it's 1.3 to Millwall and 1.8 to Swansea. So a lot better from this one and this one. And as we go down, fairness rating, was that a fair result? They're saying no. 50.21 out of 100. It's in red, so you know it's bad. They're saying that Swansea should have not lost that game. Well, if you waste so much time with sideways passing, what do you expect? Because it takes so long to get up the pitch. You can see that they didn't have the time. They just got they got up to the edge of the penalty area, and it took them so long and so many passes and so much effort to get up there. So they thought, well, it's going to take even more effort to get inside the box. Let's just have a shot. And they've got like 10 or 12 shots from outside the area. Let's switch it up. Well, we know how this is going to look the first half. So you can see they kept on with the tippy-tappy shit in the first half. We scored straight early on in the second half, and then they start actually trying to score. Which is, what were they playing for? 0-0? 1-0? Didn't work, did it? Did not work. So, yeah, that first half was really, really bad. Moving on to whoscored.com. And as you can see, you look on the right hand side. Top performers, all Millwall players. Charlie Cresswell had the most amount of shots. He got a man of the match from whoscored.com. The most amount of tackles, mostly Millwall players, and most amount of dribbles, mostly Millwall players. But apparently, according to the website before, that wasn't a fair result. Swansea team had no significant strengths. That is not true. They were very good at 5-yard sideways passing. Very, very good. Millwall created a high number of chances relative to their possession, effective creating goal scoring opportunities from long shot situations, and from set pieces were strong at finishing. We lost possession often. We attacked through the middle, had a high shot frequency when in possession, and favoured crossing ball, favoured long balls. And here you go, City attempts 10-19, 4-18 open play, 6-1 set pieces. We had 10 shots, that's 2 goals, that's a 20% conversion rate, which is at the high end, very good at this level. They had 19, they got 1, that's 5%. Now, here you go with the passing. Holy moly, 733 passes they had. 22 crosses, 32 long balls, and 679 short passes. Their average pass streak was 7. For Millwall, they had 237, 15 crosses, 57 long balls, and 165 short passes. And our average pass streak was 3. I saw a funny tweet from, I think, from an assembly member of the Welsh Assembly. And he said Swansea had 2/3 of the possession, but Millwall had 2/3 of the goal. And that's true, isn't it? That's very true. So yeah, you can see what kind of game it was just by that, looking at the amount of passes. So it's pretty much even in terms of where we're going on the pitch, shot directions, shot zones, action zones. This is interesting. Playing positions. Now I said Zion Fleming wasn't playing in the middle, he was playing on the left. What that was about. So it looks like here they're playing 4-1-4-1, 4-1-4-1. Gary Rowett said in the post-match it was a 4-3-3, which I think you can see probably. Voggy, 21, is tucking back. So it's more like a Christmas tree. 4-3-2-1, but 4-3-3. And you can see Danny Mack is pushed way up, basically playing as a wing back. Why? Because if the opposition isn't going to play a long ball from one side of the pitch to the other, if it's going to take them 5 or 6 passes to get from the one flank to the other, why you don't need to worry about it? And we won't. I mean, it's the most stupid way of playing football. Literally, absolutely clueless. But you can see here, so obviously Ryan Leonard defending more. Yeah, it's pretty narrow because you don't have to worry about them coming down the flanks or getting in behind you. They're just gonna sideways pass it. And again, you can see here, you can see the Swansea players. They're basically going around the pitch in twos. 6 and 5 are together, 18 and 17 are together, 10 and 3 are together, 8 and 23 are together. Why? Because they need to be close to someone to do the 5-yard pass to them. And it's complete fucking dog shit. I don't know how a Swansea fan could watch this every week. And there are Swansea fans all over social media saying, "Oh, we played brilliantly. This is fantastic. Why did we lose?" It's like, holy shit, man. They've drunk the Kool-Aid, bruh. This is not exciting football to watch. It really isn't. Maybe they're different at home. Don't know. But Jesus, that was so bad. And it's so easy to defend against. If they're not going to put a long ball over the top or cutting through, splitting the fullbacks down the channels, it's so easy to defend against. Anyway, let's get into the match. Here we go. They're the match events. And again, you can see Tom Bradshaw crediting the goal in this match report. Charlie Cresswell got the assist, though. There you go, Charlie. You get the assist. I don't know about that. What do you think? I think it's a bit. I think that's Charlie Cresswell's goal. I mean, it just hits him and goes in, and it was going in anyway. It's not like the Swansea goal. The geezer deflected it massively. He was already going towards the goal. Like I said, I think this is from the referee's report. So maybe the dubious goals panel will come in again. But then I don't think if they knew the circumstances it was given to the first guy, then changed in the referee's report, I don't think they're going to go back and give it back to the other guy. I think that's how it works. So there you go. I think there's the whole culture of not contradicting referees. So I don't do it. I think it's Tom Bradshaw's goal now. So here you go. Cresswell, star man, got an assist and 2 clearances off the line, which is the one that led to their goal. I think the 58, where you can see that they have 3 shots, and George Long getting a high score, 8.2, himself nearly getting man of the match because they did have a lot of shots on target, but they were mostly at George Long. So, to be fair, obviously their goalkeeper got a really bad score, 4.9, got given the error on Ballstammer's goal. Other than that, what else have they got? They got Manning 7.1, even though he got booked, so that would have took his score down. So let's just run through this then. Total shots 10 to 19. Again, Cresswell and Vogelshammer with the most, 3 and 3. Possession wise, 24-75, but we know why that is. And you can see Grimes with 11% of the match possession just from him, which is nearly half of what the whole Millwall team had. Pass success percentage, again, of course it's going to be high. Again, the keeper at 79, because he never takes a long kick. Fleming down 57. He was on the left though, so this is accurate. He was on the left. Okay. Long at 46, higher than normal. Good score for him. Dribbles 8 to 5. Aerials 1, 22 to 13. Indeed. Now I'm assuming that most of those are attacking aerials, because did Swansea actually, or I guess from Swansea's corners maybe, did they take short corners? I can't remember. Wouldn't surprise me if they took short corners and kicked it all the way back to their goalkeeper. But yeah, aerials 1, again Cresswell helping to get the highest score. Sam with 3. Moving on to tackles, 18 to 11. Everyone winning a tackle from Millwall except Bradshaw. Wrong. Corners 5 to 5. These are the ones who won the corners. Dispossessed, basically having the ball taken off of you, 8 to 7. So there you go. Let's look at some more numbers, and we can see the shots on target from here. So 10 shots from Millwall, wasn't it? How many on target? 3. So to get 2 goals from 3 shots on target, that is pretty incredible. That's 66%. In terms of ratings, there you go. Charlie Cresswell 8.19, Jules Long 8.17, and we'll see why that is now as we go down to see. So they had like 19 shots or something, isn't it? How many did they have on target? A lot. 3, 5, 9, 10, 11. So 11 shots on target, which means they had to be blocked or saved by George Long. So that's why George Long's got a high score. I think he made like at least 4 or 5 saves. Some of them were easy, they were bread and butter, and they were right at him, but they were still, you saw that their goalkeeper, like, having a shot at you doesn't, you still got to save it if you're a goalkeeper. Still got to deal with it. It looks easy, but it is not. So then we have Sam and Bradshaw, and then Honeyman, and then Leonard. And then it tails off. And then there's a bit of a gap between Mario Wallace and Jake Cooper. And then we get down into the substitutes, which is probably how it should be. And the substitutes should be at the bottom of the scoring because they come on and they have less time to do things than the people that were on the pitch. So there you go. Touches. Who had the most touches? Mario Wallace 50. Zion Fleming 44. Cresswell 43. Now let's go down and look at touches for Swansea and see. It's going to be like 200. Oh, here we go. 100. 120. 115. 107. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, offensively, offsides, no. That's it for this. Defensively, who did what defensively? So here we go, all the tackles. George Saville again leading the tackle. And this is the thing where since we've changed formation, there's some more attacking formation. George Saville's numbers in terms of defensive work has gone up because I don't know why, but the defending has been done further up the pitch. Mario Wallace at 3, then of 2, Honeyman, Fleming. Interceptions, Ryan Leonard. Okay. Clearances, this is pretty high. McNamara, Leonard, Cresswell, Honeyman. So blocked shots, so we saw they had like 11 shots on target. So 4 of those were blocked. So that leaves 7 that George Long had to deal with. So that's pretty impressive, though. And you can see why he got the high score. But again, Charlie Cresswell there, impressive. Leading at the top with clearances and at the top with block shots. Clearing 2 off the line and getting an assist. passing wise, let's have a look at passes. Who had the most passes? For Mill, it was Murray Wallace with 30. Now let's have a look at Swansea and laugh. Passing 107. Did they have a player who had? Oh yeah, they did. Okay. Well, the goalkeeper. So the goalkeeper had 28 passes, which is just 2 under our player who had the most passes. Their goalkeeper. Their goalkeeper had as many passes as as our top passer, Murray Wallace. Yikes. Passing accuracy, George Honeyman, but only off of 16. And you think he was on the pitch for 90 minutes, he's only had 16 passes. Yeah, because they had the ball most of the time. And all you're doing is moving around, positioning, closing them down. So when you get the ball, you're like, okay, got to do something with it. Crosses and accurate crosses, 5 and 3, 5 and 4, 3 and 1. Long balls and accurate long ball, 22 and 8. So George Long had 4 short passes, 22 long. Let's go down and see, just for laughs. Let's have a laugh at their goalkeeper. So long balls. So their goalkeeper didn't even have the most long balls. That was Matt Grimes and Manning. And then it's their goalkeeper. He had 6 long balls. They had 28 passes, so he had 22 short passes. Oh. So their goalkeeper had 22 short passes, which is as many long balls at George Long. 22 and 8, 12 and 5, 9 and 3, 4 and 1, 3 and 2, and it's that off. So yeah, there you go. That's the story in stats, and you can see when you look at the stats like that, it stands like a sore thumb, doesn't it? The kind of game that it was. So here we go. The games from Wednesday. The results are in. Huddersfield drew with Norwich. Yay! We've got to play Huddersfield next. Oh, yeah. Good and bad. So obviously Norwich had a player sent off. I don't know any details of the game. I'm just looking at this right now. But a team that's just one place below us in the table went to Huddersfield and couldn't win. Now Huddersfield come to the Den on Saturday, and we need to beat them. Really, we need to win. This is a winnable game, but it might not be as easy as it sounds. Burnley beat Hull 3-1. Blackburn beat Reading 2-1, which was expected, but having seen what Reading are doing in the league most recently, in our game against them. Now Luton beat Bristol City 1-0. This is a good result for us. Cardiff 1, West Brom 1. That's a good result. And this is probably as well, although it kind of dents our hopes of actually catching Sheffield United, but in terms of securing our place in the playoffs, Sheffield United beating Sunderland, obviously affecting Sunderland's ability to climb up the table with them winning 2-1. So what that does to the table is if we go down and look, Millwall are in 6. Millwall are in 6 on 60 points. There's now a 4-point gap, which when you've got 9 games to go, there's a 4-point gap. But it, again, like I said, could be a bit worrying if we don't beat Huddersfield. Why could it be worrying? Because if we don't beat Huddersfield, West Brom win their game, which is... What's West Brom's game? Are they playing? They're not playing. Oh, well, don't worry about it then. So West Brom must be playing one of the FA Cup teams that has the game postponed. Sheffield United or Blackburn. Okay. I was worried. What I'm saying is obviously if we don't get a good result against Huddersfield, I thought if West Brom were playing this weekend, they would get up to 58. And then when we play them next on the 1st of April, it will be a Norwich situation where if they beat us, they could go above us, which would be not good. But apparently they're not playing, so they're going to have a game in hand. Which, as we know with game in hand, we don't like getting to. It's better to have the points on the board, which is what we got now. It's better to be in the position rather than chasing the position. Very much an advantage in doing that, which we are. We are now 4 points ahead of 7th place. We cannot lose our position even if we lose to Huddersfield on Saturday, and Norwich must be playing though. If Norwich beat Stoke, we are still in 6th, brother. We ain't going nowhere. Now, it would be massively disappointing to lose to Huddersfield, but we can ride that one out as long as we win the next game. So yeah, 4-point gap. Fantastic. In terms of looking up, Luton, again, they just keep winning. Don't know how. Remarkably, one of the teams, the second, well, in the whole division, it's the team in second with the fewest losses, only 8 defeats, more than Sheffield United are in second. So, do we want to play them in the playoffs? Probably not. We've got to play them on Good Friday, so that will be a big game. We've got to play Blackburn. But so far, next up is Huddersfield with their new manager. So there you go. That is it. Millwall are 6, everyone. Millwall are 6. There is a 4-point gap. Millwall are 6. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.